Thank you very much, Riv. We are back here to talk about all kinds of wonderful things. So, Voyboy, first of all, welcome to the desk. How you doing? Good. So you guys, I want to talk to you actually about your game since we've really just barely come off of that one. That was close for a while. Like, how do you play the close games where you know you're clawing back and forth? Like, what do you do to get yourself into those games?
Yeah, so basically the reason the game was so stagnant and so close was because we had a team comp that basically had no actual form of hard engage. Like, it could have been like Elise repel in or me dash in and like Lulu wall and then we like start a fight. But we reversed at PokeCon with like Varus and Nidalee and a lot of really strong disengage with like Annie and Trundle. So we'd get into siege scenarios where they'd be poking us down, and like I try to like mitigate a little bit, like throw a wind wall here and there, but we never really could get an opportunity where we could go onto them. And so one obvious advantage that we had was the fact that we had TP and they didn't. They took Ignite on Trundle to be able to cut down on Mundo's healing and just like have a chance at killing him. And so what we basically ended up doing was looking for like opportunities where they walk a little too close. We can either like try, I can like try to land a Q for the knockup and then look to ult in, or we can just have Mundo like TP in and try to flank them. So the game was just like stagnant for so long because we really didn't have many tools to make a move on them. And then they went for like a Baron attempt. We had Mundo splitting bot. Dom went in, got the steal, and we just like aced them. And then we just ran down mid and pushed for the win. So it was just like this. The game just exploded, and we took it home.
That's definitely something I want to ask you more about, because the steal was so miraculous, and you had teleport ready. I kept on waiting for the teleport to come in because Baron was going down really fast. What were the voice comms like during that exchange? Because that's one of the most tense moments of any game.
Yeah, so basically what happened was we were assessing the situation. We were watching the Baron's health. When we like first got vision of it, it was at 9k or something, so still you have a little bit of time left. I think we were just like, all right, just wait. We were just waiting for it to get lower and lower because we were just waiting for the opportunity to like go for the steal while simultaneously starting a fight. And then when it got to like 4k, I think I made the call for cross TP in. He just came in, just ran inside. They tried to melt it. Dom got the steal off. That was amazing. And then we just like ended up AoEing them and killing them down after we chased them. And then we just ran down mid. Nidalee actually died pretty late, so we had like 50 seconds left, and we just made the call to end the game. And we got another pick on the Varus, I believe, and they really had no way of stopping us.
All right, so I know you gave us the audio play-by-play, but we actually have a replay of that fight. I figured, why not relive the winning moments here if we can get the replay up on your screen. Voyboy, just take us through this like really awesome moment.
All
Once
right,
again.
so right here, we're just watching the health. We don't really have to do anything. Zion walks a little too close, starts taking some poke. We don't hit the cocoon, but if we did, we probably would have tried to go for an all-in. And as soon as the Varus throws the ult out, we just go all in. Dom gets the steal off. We get the Lulu ult off, and we just start killing them. And Nidalee has to run out of the fight, otherwise we would have killed her. We're just chasing them down. Quas flashes over. We're like, all right, I'll finish off Zion. Everyone else go for Wiz and Shifter. And we knew Wiz had no flash and no mana, so he was just a sitting duck, and we just had to chase him down and kill him. And right here, I think we get the kill on him. We probably wouldn't have been able to end the game if Shifter didn't die, and he actually died much later than this. We were like pushing down mid, and Dom landed a really nice cocoon in between the creep wave. We just took him out, and we just made the call to end.
Okay, so I have a two-part question for you to follow up on all of this. The first of all, who makes all the calls or most of the calls in-game and in Champ Select?
So basically the way we do it is early game, lane rotations, most of the ganks and stuff, Dom is pretty much the voice behind that. He's a jungler. He knows how to pressure, and we look to take his opinion and just basically look for what lane suppression and stuff like that. And then sort of mid-game, we have Zekin doing some like dragon calls, like clearing out wards and stuff like that. We can take control of the map, but honestly, everyone kind of contributes. And then late game, I'm kind of the designated late game shot caller. I have the most experience, and usually in like those really tense situations, I have a pretty good voice of reason. So I try to make the calls for like when we should push, when we should end, like go for Baron, stuff like that. And so far, it's been working out pretty well.
Okay, so then I have a question for you on this, because you mentioned earlier on that you said, we didn't have a really good comp for beating them because they're like poking, they've disengaged. We're like, all we can do is like kind of hope for this teleport flank. When you come away from that game, do you say, okay, we need to like try to rethink Champ Select and be ready for this better, or are you actually like happy with how the game played out?
I think we were pretty happy with the way the game played out. Like, we had a team comp that was very suited at killing them in team fights. It might be a little boring from a spectator standpoint, and for us even, because it's not obvious how we're going to make a play and how we're going to win the game. Like, let's say when you have like Leona or Annie or someone with hard initiation, you'd be like, all right, just go for the stun. Like, everyone follow up, get your CC up. But here it's like, all right, we have to like try to hedge our bets. We have to like get lanes pushing, start applying pressure on the map. And like an example of this, when we were all at Dragon, after we had sort of went even on a team fight, we had pushed top into their turret, and because Zion didn't have TP, he had to come mid to try to stay around for the Dragon attempt, and they ended up losing like multiple waves top. So that was just an example of how, without actually like forcing a fight, we were able to gain slight advantages, and we just built those, and eventually they made one mistake at the Baron, and we were able to turn that into a win.
Nice.
All right, so tomorrow your game is going to be against XDG. And obviously it's kind of hard to do research on them because they had a role swap. Zuna's been practicing jungle for maybe 2 weeks. But you saw their game today. What are you thinking going into your next game?
We played them a bit in scrims and stuff. I think when we played them, they were still just like getting into their role swap and stuff, so they didn't look that strong. But versus EG, they had a really strong performance. Zuna actually like played really well in my opinion on Olaf, and I think it'll be a really good game. We are pretty confident right now. I think that it's probably going to take them a while to get like fully acclimated and adjusted to the changes and stuff like that. But I definitely think that they can do it. And I mean, from their win today, they're probably going to be a top team, and I think we're going to be up there to able to compete with them.
Nice. It's awesome to hear you guys confident looking into this one. So, moving in, you got the rest of the week ahead of you guys as well. You looking for that 4-0 week?
Yes, definitely. That's going to be the plan. If we go 4-0, I'll be really happy. We have some tough matches, but I think that we have the potential to win all the games.
All right, so the game that we're about to watch, they did have a Warwick pick, and you're definitely a favorite of the unconventional sort of top laners back when you played top lane. I really like when Darren was playing Warwick, but everyone's like, oh, Darren has this kind of reputation where he's really cool, but he's a little bit insane too. So now it's real. Like other people are using Warwick top. So what do you think about it?
I think my personal opinion is that Warwick is notoriously weak early game. You get into like a level 4, level 5 scrap, and like they have their top laner. It doesn't matter who it is, and you have your Warwick. For the most part, the Warwick's not going to be really doing much. But the thing that he does have is a very strong late game. When Warwick has items, he has a very low cooldown on his ultimate. He has ridiculous tank shredding with his Q, and he gives a team attack speed buff on his W, which is like a lot of like, I guess like unrespected power, because if you get in a late game like push scenario or like a team fight or something and you have champions that scale well with attack speed, like Warwick's W is amazing for that. But the problem with Warwick is that it's very hard to get him out of the early game and to a point where he can be effective in team fights and in those like pushing scenarios. Basically, my opinion on Warwick is that if you have enough confidence in your team and you think that they can get you through the early game and the mid game while you're admitting that you're going to be a vulnerability and a weakness, then it's a pretty strong pick. If your team is not that confident, if like mid or bot like ends up having a losing lane or something like that, and you're just like a level 7 Warwick, you're probably not going to be doing that much compared to the other options available. But if you can get past that point, get enough farm, and outsplit push the enemy champion, then you can be a really big contributing factor, which is what we basically see when Darian runs it, and he drawing bans now, so it's pretty good.
So would you let Quas you run Warwick if you guys had wave clear on other picks of in your composition?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, so we just talked about Warwick. I got one more question for you. You, of course, played Yasuo. We're seeing him now come in. If you could sort of give us sort of what you think like the strengths and weaknesses of Yasuo as a champion, bringing him into the competitive scene, tell me what you think about this guy.
I think Yasuo is really strong. He definitely fits the type of champion that I love playing. Those assassins, those melee assassins. Zed and Ahri and stuff got nerfed a few months ago, and people were like, oh, the assassin meta is dead. But to be honest, like, the meta is whatever you make of it. So there's a lot of variety still available, and Yasuo definitely fits under that spectrum. I think he's really strong. I think he shines the most when you have a teammate that can provide a knockup, so you don't always have to rely on his Q. And for example, in our game, I was playing Yasuo, and we only had a Lulu, and that's actually not a combination we practiced much. So there was a little bit, you can see, like, we didn't actually get many like good Yasuo ults off, but it's still really strong when you have any champion that can just instantly pop enemy champion up, and then you just ult them. And you just blow them up because it's like a free pick. I think he's really strong. I think he has a lot of potential. I would not be surprised to see him picked up a lot more.
All right, Voyboy, thank you very much for your time and for all your answers and everything else. And good luck to your team the rest of the week and the rest of the season. You're welcome. Of course, guys, we got the games coming back. It looks like we're ready to get